Hello, and thanks for watching Dan's Garage. What we're going to do today is put new piston rings in the front cylinder of this 1945 Harley Davidson WL. Reason being, I lost compression in that cylinder, and after doing all the other tests to determine it wasn't the timing or the valves, spark plugs, coil, wires, it was none of that. It's going to be the piston rings. So to do that, first we're going to take the oil tank off. Got to drain the oil to the feed pump, and you have to disconnect the oil return line, and there's a vent line underneath as well. Gas tank, you do not have to drain the gas as long as you have your petcock shut off, but you do have to disconnect the hard gas line. And walk over to the other side. You do have to disconnect the gas line and also the shift lever. And here's your gas line here, if you can see it. Once you do that, usually I'm going to take the carburetor off, because you do have to take the manifold off, and the exhaust. Once you do all that, you'll be taking the head off. After the head, you should open up your valve covers. You should be able to lift the cylinder up once you take all 4 cylinder bolts out. I find it easier to take the generator or alternator that looks like a generator out to get to that one nut that holds the cylinder down. We're also going to change the gasket, and be seeing you in a little bit. Thank you. Okay, if the tank's off, I'll be able to show you a couple things really quick. So I do take the carburetor off before I take the manifold off. It's 3 screws. These linkered, so really easy. And then, like I said, you're going to take the head off. You also have to loosen the top motor mount here, and this one to be able to get that out. The exhaust is going to need to come out, and see in a little bit. A couple of little tricks I use. I use any kind of steel pipe as a breaker bar. I think these are like 65 foot-pound head bolts. Just any pipe you have in the garage somewhere. I have some simple green around to clean stuff off as I go along. Be back in a few. Okay, so now with the head, the carburetor, the cylinder off, piston rings are put in from the top. You just put them on, you can slide them right over. I like to get everything nice and oily so it slips right on. So obviously you put the bottom one on first, but from the top. You want to space these gaps out after you set the correct gap clearance. A couple other things I want to let you know is having nice tools does help a lot. For the manifold nuts, it's nice to have this wrench that they sell for about $20. And for the valve covers, there's a wrench. I have a couple of them in the shop. Channel locks will work as well. So we'll be back in a little bit. You do need a ring compressor. Compress these rings, slide the cylinder back over. I've seen and I've done it myself without one. It's a lot easier with one. Be back in a few. Okay, so since the last video, basically put the cylinder and getting ready to torque the head down. I had taken the generator, in my case an alternator, it looks like a generator, out, because you do want to make sure you have these cylinder nuts down pretty tight. I'm going to use a torque wrench on the head bolts. I didn't use it on the cylinder nuts, as tight as I can get it without breaking them. Disconnect the wires. Make sure you connect all the wires back. I've taken the floorboards off on the other side as well. I have to put the exhaust back on. Don't forget to fill it back with oil after you put the oil tank and gas tank back on. A couple things I want to mention. You do want to tighten your manifold down first, as tight as you can, before you do tighten down the cylinder. Just like now. And see you soon. Okay, got the oil lines hooked up, tanks back on, wiring everything back on. Make sure you have a spark advance attached, the shift lever, your ground wire. Next thing you do is start her up. and dial it in. Don't forget you do have to readjust your valves. And watch the next video for it running. Thanks for watching.